get together.
I don't want it done. I know it won't get done.
Go ahead, you ready?
I know.
Move
it
jail,
won't.
please.
I'd like to call to order the City of Cherryville's regular City Council work session meeting of Tuesday, June the 24th, 2025 at this time. First item to be addressed by the council is agenda approval. What is the pleasure of the council on the agenda approval as distributed?
Make a motion, we accept it. Second.
Have a motion and second to accept the agenda approval as distributed. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same, and there is none. Next item is the year-end budget amendments, and we have our Finance Director, Dixie Wall, to lead us through that. She gave everyone a hand. Has everyone got their handout? Okay.
Mayor, Council, I just have 5 budget amendments that I need to do for year end, just to clean up some stuff. One is, the first one is on the safety grant that we received from the League of Municipalities. We received $5,000 towards a light bar to use at night, and several different departments are going to be using it. The second one, and stop me if you have any questions on any of them. The second one is the FEMA reimbursement from Hurricane Helene. It was a total of $118,090. And you can see that affected several different departments because we have to put it back to the departments that it affected. So, the third is just various donations that we've received throughout the year that I have to budget in order to carry forward if they weren't spent. So, you'll see those there and several different departments. We had recreation donations, we had police donations, of course the urns, and then some general donations.
Can I ask a question about the recreation donations? Is that,
You sure?
is that like fees that we earn?
No, like one was, we pay the fireworks out of the recreation. So one was a donation for the fireworks for July 4th. And then one was a donation for the basketball teams.
So it was outright donations?
Yes.
Thank you thank you very much, thank you.
And I'll just go ahead and say it. Mr. O'Leary is who donates for the fireworks.
Thank you very much.
And then the next one is state asset forfeiture. We had $20 come in, and I have to budget that so that it can go into their coffers to use. And then the last one is just a various to cover expenses that we've done throughout the year that the department may be close and going over budget. So I budget to make sure that the department is covered. Water admin was some meters that were ordered last year that came in this year, and then he had already ordered more meters for this year. So the $23,000, that is what that is. Recreation, of course, he spent for the basketball. He spent to get the supplies and uniforms and things like that, or t-shirts, I think, for the teams. And then the utilities, with the gym coming on, the utilities have went up in recreation. And then we had some repair and maintenance, and I think that was more on the pool here recently.
Yeah, we had to get
and-
new the sand filters. Hadn't been. I don't know if they've ever been replaced at the pool. So we did go in with the YMCA and half that. They paid for half. We paid for half.
And then the budget in Public Works is just for a payout of a retiree. So, for vacation.
Okay. Does any council member have any questions for our finance director on the budget amendments? If not, I would entertain a motion that we accept the budget amendments as presented by Finance Director Dixie Wall.
I make a motion that we accept the budget amendments presented by Dixie Wall.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to accept the year-end budget amendments as presented by our Finance Director Dixie Wall. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same, and there is none. It's unanimous, okay? Next item is our presentation from the Association of Animal Welfare, and Ashleigh Carpenter is here. So, Ms. Carpenter, you now have the floor.
Yes, sir. Thank you. If you don't mind, Miss Allison to meet outside. She just pulled up. Is that okay for me to let her know?
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you, guys. I'm so sorry.
You may step out and get her?
Please.
Yeah, that's fine.
And again, I do apologize. I brought my projector here so I could have put it on the wall for you guys. I would like to show you. And it is a video of Circus and Fireball that we spoke about last meeting. And I would just like to share with you all the types of things that this organization does.
Okay.
And I
Well-
wish I could put it on for you on the wall. I just don't feel like we have enough time. Can I show you from my laptop?
Yeah, that's fine. You wanted to sit it here so everybody
Yes.
can see?
Do you guys want to just show it this way? Okay. And then I'll let you all watch it. It's only 3 minutes.
Okay. Is this the one that I saw on the
Yes.
phone? That's
Yes.
emotional for me.
It
so-
is. It is very graphic. I do want to warn everyone right now, this video is very graphic. And it does show some injuries that were inflicted upon a kitty. And I just would like you all to know that right now. So, just to regroup with everyone, this kitten's name is Circus and Fireball. He was severely abused. He was thrown in a fire pit, and after that, they poured candle wax all over his body. Miss Allison, did you see her?
I did not.
I'm sorry. Okay. I do apologize.
This is Brian.
They raise funds to do things like this. They made this possible because Miss Allison, the organization AWA, they raise donations, and what they do is they help our community in so many different ways. This organization, Rescue, they raise funds to help owners who cannot afford pet care. Instead of saying you are less than or you are not worthy of having an animal. So, and I think that's pretty remarkable in some scenarios and cases. So they raised the funds, and Miss Allison contacted me, in a collaboration, she asked if I thought that, we could save this kitten. He was not my patient, my room, I didn't have any information on the kitten. Went in there and looked at that poor baby. And I was fearful, but I was willing to take a chance. And I told her that within 3 days, he was eating and drinking on his own. Now, I know you did see some of the material that was very graphic, and his face was almost fused together, if that makes sense. And we had to give him some medicine because he was so painful that his face was just filling off. And we just, we did surgery, and we just put him to sleep so he wouldn't feel that. And when he woke up, all that flesh that was peeling and shedding, we had kind of decluttered some of it for him. However, it was in phases. I did not know if he could ever eat because he had ulcers inside his mouth. His mouth, burns, lacerations, all kinds of things. So I did not reveal who owns, well, he owns them now. The parents of Circus and Fireball are actually Dr. Robert Browning and Dr. Taylor. They gave him a forever family and home. And now he will come into the animal hospital and ignore me. And yeah, he said, get away. But I came in asking for endorsement before the council last meeting. And that is very broad and vague. So what that means is you can, or you should think about certain events such as a rabies event here in Cherryville, to where all of our community could, if they have an animal, because by law, rabies, we know it's required. And I know you have been seeing the posts go around about the outbreaks and the rabies right now. If not, there are some cases going on. So think about having a event to where our community, all is welcome, it doesn't matter, for free. Come get your babies vaccinated. And all I ask of you is let's house it somewhere.
Do you work for a veterinarian
I do. I work for an animal hospital.
here in Cherryville?
Yes, sir, Cherryville Animal Hospital.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
In this case that you just showed everyone wound up being prosecuted?
Yes,
The individual that did this,
yes, sir.
or individuals?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It was plural. However, one succumbed to a different situation. So it was a male and female, younger, and on July 23rd of 2023, or is it 22? 22.
Was it 22? Was it 22?
I feel like it was 23 on what I wrote down. I don't have it before me.
Yeah, I
But
think it was 23.
nevertheless, to answer his question, yes. Miss Allison, Miss Sherry, AWA behind you, that I was just speaking highly of and considering endorsing them, they stood the ground and they pursued these individuals that did that to the kitten, because if they would do that to a kitten, if they would do it to an animal, what do you think they would do to us? So to get back to where I was, this young lady was arrested by Cherryville Police Department, and that secured AWA's first felony animal cruelty charge and conviction. So I would have to say I do appreciate that on their behalf. Another thing they do, and I will give it over to Miss Allison here in a minute, they do other events in the community. How they have been doing events in Cleveland County, Shelby. They have just extended to Gaston Animal Services. Isn't that who you collaborated with?
For that one project,
Yes.
yeah. Mhm.
I will let you speak upon that. And again, me just speaking on behalf of them, I ask you all, please consider endorsement. And I will let her get up here and speak about what they can do and the events they have.
Okay.
Is this a national organization?
Yes, No, it is just local. It's been an organization, 501c3, nonprofit for 26 years.
Okay.
And I feel
It's
like
but it's local.
it's very local, Shelby. And quite frankly, I feel like their own house has neglected them and not supported them.
I think I would confer with our city clerk. I think we could go so far as doing a resolution to endorse the animal welfare.
Absolutely.
And I will turn it over to her so she can actually elaborate a bit more on what they do and a benefit of having them.
Okay.
Thank you so much for having me in all of my dysfunction at this moment.
Do you have other members in this town or county, this region that meet with you to plan these events and things?
Well, as of, we're two different entities. My rescue and them, as of now, two different things. That's why I would like her to get up here and speak more. I'm more of a rehabber, homer, houser, and TLCer. They do that also. But we're two different types. However, I stand before you as an advocate and a volunteer of theirs, and maybe in the future something further.
Okay. Thank you, Ashley.
I'm sorry, I wasn't.
That's okay. Well, first of all, I don't know where I'm supposed to stand. I feel like I'll be blocking somebody where I stand.
You're fine
But
right
I
there.
apologize for coming in here late as an invited guest, but we were sitting over at the fire department, wondering why nobody else was there with us. So,
Well,
but
we
I
used to
do-
do the work sessions over there, but once we got this place rehabbed a little bit, we changed everything back
Well, we were
to.
sitting over there and I was telling Sherry, I don't know why did they not have this second meeting in the place they had it last time? Because that's such a nice room. So that's the only reason that we're late coming in here, I
Okay.
promise you. And I am Allison Steele. This is Sherry Crowder. I am president, Sherry is vice president currently of our grassroots local organization. This is not affiliated with any nationwide anything. We are our own thing. And we have been since December of 2000. That's when we got our 501c3 designation. We operate solely off of donations and monies we raise off of fundraisers and some local small grant type things. We don't actually write for grants. We did that one time, but we found out that writing, the gift you get as a grant, which is wonderful, and I'm not knocking it, but the gift you get as a grant when you write off for a grant has a lot of, and this is gonna sound like we're lazy, but I promise you we're not, a lot of work that you have to do to justify the use of their money. There are currently 4 directors on our board of directors, and we've never had more than 6. I don't know if we've even had more than 5. But right now it's 4. It's been 4 for years. You get a lot more done if you have fewer people, you know, to kind of get everything squared away with. We're always almost 100% on board with each other, so it's not an issue that we only have 4. But that means that there's not many of us to do the work. And so once the hard work is done that used the grant money, then you have to go to the paperwork to justify what you've done with that money. And that was just too much for us. We tried it one time. We did get a wonderful gift. It was for cats. But trying to get all that paperwork done afterward was just, it was a struggle for us. So we don't write off for grants, but we do have some local foundations who support us with so far annual gifts, and up to now. I don't know what this past year's statistics were, but the year before that, we spent over 90% of our budget on our projects and our programs that help animals. We don't own a building. The only overhead we have is telephone, paperwork, you know, your letterhead, things like that. We have traps and carriers for animals that we have invested in. What am I missing, Sherry? Other than that, some printing, a post office box rental. That's the money that we spend on overhead, and we do have a storage building where we keep some of our things. A lot of our things are at my house, a lot of our things are at her house, because we just want as much of our budget to go into an animal purpose as we can get. Again, we don't pay anybody. Nobody is a paid employee of our organization. Everything is done by volunteers out of their own vehicles in their own homes. I carry our phone around with us. It's a mobile phone. I carry it with me wherever I go. Can't say I'm able to answer every call. I do try, but rather than have an office or anything, it just goes with me where I go. Our office is sometimes Walmart in Cherryville. Sometimes it's at Food Line in Cherryville. Sometimes it's at Edisto Beach, South Carolina. But over the past 26 years that we've been working, and we did start spaying and neutering as soon as we got our 501c3. We did it a different way than we do it now because we were just smaller then and we were learning. But to date, we have confidently spayed or neutered or assisted with the spay or neuter of over 4,000 animals in the area. And even though our address is Shelby, we have never limited our work to Cleveland County, Shelby, or anything like that. We've actually been doing TNR over here in Gaston County in the Cherryville area for several years. We have a volunteer who's a cat enthusiast that has almost single-handedly spayed or neutered every cat that wanders around Walmart over here. She's also
Excuse me, it's TNR, is that trap and release?
Trap, neuter, return, it sure is.
Trap, neuter, return, okay.
She's also addressed some of the cats at Bojangles. She's working on cats behind Carolina Federal Credit Union. We have spayed and neutered cats on the west side of Main Street. We have spayed and neutered cats on the east side of Main Street. There's still more to be done because I don't care how many you do, there are always cats in that category that need attention as far as spaying and neutered. Sherry is our resident cat expert. Sherry has been trapping, spaying and neutering, and returning animals for even before AWA was formed, because we were part of another group and we were doing this then. But how many years would you say? Would you guess at it? 35, 40? Mm-hmm. Okay. So she knows what she's doing. And if a cat can't be trapped by that lady back there, it's probably not going to get trapped. But we do have two spay-neuter programs. One is the TNR, which we call Born Free Felines, and that is trap, neuter, return. You trap the cat, you send it for spay or neuter. We test it, vaccinate it, deworm it, whatever we can do for that animal while it is in the high-speed setting of the spay-neuter, the low-cost spay-neuter clinics gets done. In other words, if it goes in for a spay, but it's a cat that has a wound that the veterinarian can address there while that cat is there, it's taken care of, and we pay for that while that cat is there also, because you may not, or we may not ever get our hands on that cat again. So we do everything we can for it while it's there. It is returned to the location where it was trapped. We never relocate animals. Of course, we have requests to do that, but we don't do that because, number one, it's cruel. Number two, the animal stands a much less chance of surviving if you release it in an unfamiliar area. It'd be like us relocating somewhere that we've never been. We don't know what the resources are there or where to go for them, so we don't do that.
Do you tag them in any way that?
Clip their ear.
Their ears are clipped, yeah.
Okay.
There's no tag, there's no number, there's no identification like that. There was a time whenever we were putting microchips in, but that was because of an initiative over at Cleveland County's Animal Services. But we didn't do that for very long because that is another expense that really proved not to be cost effective.
Mm-hmm.
Do you work with Gaston County Animal Control? Do you work?
I don't mean for this to sound.
Do they communicate?
I don't mean for this to sound ugly in any way, but we don't we don't actually work with anybody. We're just our own thing. Now, we have had communication with Gaston County, and we are initiating a big project with them this year. But our communication with them, probably the most that we've had with them was the example that Ashleigh gave you with the little cat that was so severely tortured. We had a lot of dealings with them then. And they are, I have to say, they are, they were wonderful with that. We were so thrilled to know that they pursued that until they actually solved that and got it taken care of, that we'd never had that kind of result before. So, in that aspect, yeah, we communicate with them. Our Doghouse Derby, which is the project that we're lining up with them, they have agreed to do that with us, or partner with us on that, which means we're gonna be locating that project over on their campus for that day. And it is a one-day event, and it's a one day where we build anywhere from 24 to 27 dog houses, with help from volunteers that come in. But in the morning, the kits are delivered. The kits this year are all gonna be cut by our treasurer. Without getting bogged down into the whole thing, we tried to get that done a different way, but it just wasn't efficient. So those kits are being cut by our own treasurer. We're gonna haul those kits over to Gaston County Animal Services for that day, which we're scheduling hopefully for November 1st with a rain date of November 8th. That day, we're looking for volunteers to come in and help us build those dog houses from start to finish. At the end of the day, they'll be roofed, they'll be painted, they'll be ready to deliver, except the paint will be wet. So come Monday morning after that Saturday, Animal Services in Gaston County will be able to deliver those dog houses where they believe they are most needed. And we leave that to their discretion. It's just easier to do it that way. They see the need when they go out on these calls. And so it's not efficient for us to then try to get a call from them and say, hey, can you take it to 213 Elm Street? Us go to Gastonia, pick it up, take it there, and then come back. They have the equipment to do that, and so we leave it there. And that's actually how it was run over in Cleveland County, at Cleveland County Animal Services as well. The other spay-neuter program that we have is for the general public. And, well, both of them are actually for the general public, I guess, but these are for tame animals. So Neuter for Life, NFL Draft, spay-neuter program is for the spaying and neutering of your pet animals. We are currently using the SNP clinic in Shelby. SNP stands for Spay Neuter Initiative of Piedmont. They are scheduling all of our surgeries currently. Anybody who owns a pet is welcome to use this reduced cost program. So the low cost clinics offer a price to the public. You can go straight to them. You can get your animal's appointment there and you can pay their price. Or you can call us and we will pay part of the price for that surgery at that same clinic. And that's the way that we've done it since we started. We've always paid for part of the surgery cost. But right now, this is how it's working. And if, Jane Doe has a cat, Fluffy, that needs a spay, she calls us, we quote the price. She writes a check or a money order, sends it to us with her telephone number, proves that she's been taking that animal to get a rabies vaccine, shows it to us, shows the certificate to us. Then we schedule that animal for surgery. And then we pay that bill, but she pays us a reduced price over what the clinic is charging. So we subsidize our own program with the proceeds that we get from these donations from the public, the fundraisers that we do, and the local grant money. And again, that's how we've always done it. We want to lower the cost of a spay or neuter as much as we possibly can. We also spend an awful lot of money assisting pet owners with emergency vet care. And we really have spent, I don't even know, probably $10,000 in the last 6 months. Just helping folks who have emergency situations that they are not able to financially handle. So they'll call our number and they'll say, my dog's not eating, it's throwing up, it's got a discharge. We don't know what's wrong, we don't have the money to take it there. A short screening is done over the phone verbally, and 9 times out of 10 we assist with the bill. 9 times out of 10, we're paying probably 95 to 99% of the bill, and sometimes we do pay 100% of it because people just don't have the money. So we do subsidize that type of pet care as well. We also, in addition to that, though we don't have a food bank per se, we will assist folks who call and can justify for good reason why they're unable to feed their animals right then. We don't ever get ourselves locked into the continuing support of everyday bills or everyday care for animals. Somebody called me just the other day and said, well, I need a rabies vaccine. Rabies vaccines are basically well care. We don't assist with well care. We do assist with emergency care. So I denied that, and I said, I'm sorry, but our funds are saved for emergency care, but you can get a free vaccine if you wait for the clinic, or you can pay a mere $10 at Animal Services. So throughout the year, we don't, so that since there are so few of us, we don't have that many fundraisers because it's hard for so few people to organize and get a calendar fixed with fundraiser after fundraiser after fundraiser. But we do have an annual letter that comes out at the beginning of the year. We shoot for the end of January, and it is it's a plea for funds, but it's also a newsletter. So we catch everybody up on the major feats that we've accomplished for the prior year, and then politely, I hope, ask at the end of that letter for financial support. Wags and Whiskers is a project we just wrapped up with a lot of support here in Cherryville, but it's a project where it's modeled after the hot air balloon sales of, I believe it's muscular dystrophy, but that might be multiple sclerosis, and it might be Children's Miracle Network. I get them all confused. But anyway, they sell little paper balloons for $1, and you put your name on it, or you put a child's name on it, or whatever. We sell food bowls. And any business that's willing to help us out by, applying those there and just asking their patrons if they would, contribute $1 or whatever they'd like for that is, that's what completes that project. We finished that in April with a really good showing again in Cherryville, so we really appreciate that local support here. There were also some businesses over in Shelby that participated. The next thing that we have on the docket, so to speak, is our Dinkin' Dogs and Pickleball tournament, which is our biggest fundraiser so far. It's our biggest fundraiser of the year, and it raises several $1,000s for us. It's going to be in September. It's usually held in May, but we missed the calendar this year, and so we're having it in September. We have an event called Blessing of the Animals, which is kind of a hybrid in that it's not really a fundraiser. It is a recognition of an international day that recognizes animals, but we sell luminaries so that if you have a pet that you'd like to recognize, whether it's deceased or if it's still living with you, you can put their name on the luminary, and those luminaries sell for $5. That's held in Shelby around the Court Square. It really looks good there. When those luminaries are lit up that evening, it's really pretty. We are hoping, as Ashleigh mentioned, to do a free rabies clinic. We had a free rabies clinic at the end of last year. It's extremely successful. People look for these things. It is the law for your pet to be vaccinated against rabies, and we want to help provide that to folks. It's really unreal how many people call wanting a spay or neuter without the proof of that current rabies vaccine. So we want to help supply that by providing another free rabies clinic. We would love to be able to host that over here in the Cherryville area. If we could find a location, and if you'll tell me who I need to meet with in order to get that done, I would love to kind of get that in the works. The Doghouse Derby, already mentioned, that is held, like I said, we're hoping to schedule that November 1st to November 8th. And then a new one that we want to try this year is an ugly sweater contest where the winner gets to ride in the Christmas parades with whoever's wearing the sweater, whether it's their little dog or cat or whatever. I really appreciate the time that you've given me to stand before you and kind of explain what we do. We have been operating in this area for many years, but thanks to Ashleigh, we've gotten an audience here, so that you can hear what we do and what we have done in the area. I had some really great pictures to show you of a TNR project over on Bean Street, which is, I don't know if that's within city limits or if it's just outside city limits, but it's 274 going out past.
Yeah, past Caputo's.
Yes.
I think it's the very next
Circle.
turn to the right. No,
So-
it's after Amos Holmesley Road.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's the next one.
The thing with these TNR projects is if you find a situation like what we did over there on Bean Street, which was really, we've done a project that's been more than 3 times that big. But if you find a situation like that and you can get that kind of help from the caretaker of those cats, you almost ensure your success at spaying or neutering everything that's there. And that little lady helped us, and we got everything done, every animal done that she could recognize that was in that neighborhood roaming, which were not hers. These animals are not, they're not these caretakers' cats. These are people who feed because they see these animals roaming around and they feel sorry for them and they don't want them to go hungry.
The lady at Home Folks told me they have 7 cats just about every morning. Home Folks on Main Street,
Right? And about every one of them what?
about every morning, they have 7.
Oh, every morning.
7
Well,
cats
almost
show up.
every one of those, I would almost guess every one of them's been spayed or neutered when we did that.
Okay, well,
And we did that with their help
good. Okay,
because Thomas and Janet and Sandra,
yeah.
they're friends of mine. You know, they go out and they'll point to the ones that, yeah, that one's been done, that one hasn't been done, and then we'll
Okay.
set a trap, and they're not used to me, so I'll say, well, can you walk over there and put that in there? And they'll go do that, and so they
All
help.
right, sounds like
get
you're on
that
top
done.
of that situation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But anyway, you know, if there are any, we gave you a packet last time, if there are any questions, you know, I'm thrilled to entertain any of them. I love talking about this. This has been my passion ever since I was denied going to vet school. So, we're really into it. So, again, I thank you for your time, and please be in touch.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think this may be something that we can work through with the Main Street program with David Day. And especially maybe when we have our Cherry Blossom Festival or any kind of event, we might could furnish you a place to set up and give out some pamphlets and let people know and be aware of what's going on.
We'd be thankful for anything. Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, we'll move on then to item 5, and this is to declare property surplus. And we have our Public Works Director, Chris Keene, here. It's in your tablets on what page?
Pages
2.
2 through 16.
2 through 16. So, you have the floor, Chris.
The ditch witch.
They like to
It
scrap
doesn't
that.
look like it runs.
Do you have one in its place?
We do have a replacement. They don't use them much anymore. With the excavators we've got now, they don't use the trencher near as much, but we do still have one to replace it, yes. The one that we have now is a 2005. It stays at the electric department.
It's down at, behind the police department. Okay. All right.
Second one's the Chevy
Chevrolet.
6500. Yep.
That one was in an accident about a year ago. It's got a good engine, good transmission. I think it might bring something decent. Somebody might find a use for that, but you can see in the pictures the driver door.
Is that a dump truck?
Yes.
Is it
It's a dump
dumps
truck.
too? Okay.
It's
It
warped
looks
up
like
at
it's in pretty good shape. What kind of mileage is on it?
20,000.
Wow.
Mayor, council, we also have already found another dump truck, if you remember, that we passed in the budget. So we're gonna get another dump truck that's gonna replace this one.
Correct.
Okay.
It's already been spoken for, not purchased, but spoken for, so.
This one, is it running still?
It will crank and run, believe it or not. The frame, I think, has been on it pretty bad. So I don't think it would be worth us trying to fix that and swapping everything over after getting a new truck.
And another thing is, this dump truck's a straight drive,
This Chevrolet is a straight drive, yes.
and obviously we don't have very many people that can even drive a straight drive
Yeah,
anymore.
they're fading out on us.
Oh, that tells my age.
Too, I guess.
The last one is a 2006 International boom truck. In this year's budget, we've also got a new boom truck coming, so it's time for this one to go. It's got 171,000 miles, and that's city miles. That's a lot of miles in the city. It's operable. It's in good shape, but decent shape for what it is. But
And we did keep, maintenance on it every 5,000.
it's been maintained. We've got the records on it. It's a stack that big, so. I could not find any records on the 2005 dump truck anywhere.
Okay. That's it then. That's it. Okay.
Ready for a
does,
motion?
Any, council member have any questions on any of the equipment?
The boom truck that was in my neighborhood this week that's not this.
That's not that one. No, the one we're running now is a 2020 model. So we're replacing the 2006 with a new 24 model.
Okay, any other questions for Chris? If not, we would need a motion to declare the property surplus and
I'll
go
make
from
a
there.
motion that we declare these 3 vehicles, equipment, as surplus as presented by Director Chris King.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to declare the property surplus as presented on the 3 vehicles. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, the same, and there is none. It's unanimous. All right, we'll move on to item 6, other business. At this time, does any council member have anything to bring up under other business?
I have a couple things, if I could. One thing is, this week we've started going live. Right now, we have Tyler Technologies as our financial package. North Star is who we go through to do our utility bills. We're gonna switch to using Tyler to do our utility bills as well. So we're in the process this week of going live with that. So coming, starting with August, when August bills go out, we're gonna need customers that go online and pay their bill. They're gonna have to go on, first of all, and set up a new portal. And we are sending out a mailer to everybody. We're gonna put it on the website of exactly how they do that. It's very simple. You just go on the website, click a few buttons, put in your account number, all those type things, and then they'll set up a new portal, pay just like they've been paying, like that. Currently, when they go online and they pay their bill, they have to pay a fee to use their credit or debit card to pay their bill. But with Tyler, we have options that we have to look at. Right now, they do a percentage. So we took, say, an average bill, say if it's $250. If we pass that along to the customer, they would have to pay $9.38. That's not acceptable. We're not gonna have our customers paying $9.38 just to use their debit or credit card. There is a situation where we can do a utility model, and it is $4.50 per transaction. But we can't pass on any of that, meaning we would have to absorb all of that. And we processed, it was over $1 million, $1.9 million last year in credit card transactions. So I don't feel like it's possible for us to absorb all of that if it's $4.50. So what we're looking at, the third option is it's $5 per transaction, but what we can do is we can pass some of that to the customer and we can absorb some of it. So what I would recommend is that we take the $5 option and it's, say, $2.50 for the customer. The city absorbs $2.50. And that way it keeps it, within range where it doesn't hurt us. I mean, because that will be a lot of a lot of money if you take 12 months a year, you know, say 3,000 utility bills that are going out per month if people are using those cards. And currently, we don't charge a fee if they come in face-to-face with a card. But with Tyler, we will not have that option. The fee's there no matter what. But now there are ways around it where the city doesn't pay a fee and the customer doesn't pay a fee. And the easiest way is, and what we would recommend customers do, is to set it up on bank draft. If a customer sets it up on bank draft to have their utility bill simply withdrawn from their checking account, then we don't pay a fee, they don't pay a fee. But that's going to be, like I said, we're going live this week, and it'll be the August bills when they go out that people will have to set up a new portal online that pay their bills, and we have to make a decision as far as what we're going to charge and what we're looking to absorb. Like I said, me personally, I'm not in favor of the percentage where they could pay up to $9.38. That's pretty excessive, I think.
Very much so. And
So this would be on all accounts, whether it's business, commercial,
That's on every
or
account.
private?
Every account. If it's a transaction with a debit or credit card, we don't have an option.
and currently, they're not paying a fee.
They do. They do.
They
It's
do.
a
Yeah.
flat $250 no matter what the bill is.
Okay, if you pay with a credit card, it's a $250 fee.
Well,
They're used to
any
that.
bill, and this is just an average bill, because it's done on a percentage basis now. I know you've been in stores and it's 3% if you use a debit or credit card. It's basically that same thing, except, if the utility model is 1.8% and the, non-utility model that we can pass some of the expense on to the customer is 2%. So some bills will be more, but our average utility bill of a customer that pays with a credit card is $250.
That's cheap,
So,
really.
well, and we negotiated the $250 in 2013, and I just haven't changed the contract because they wanted to go up. So
My
to
s-
say
I-
we don't have customer service is beyond.
I pay Santee Cooper, and I just call them up and give them my credit card number. It's $6 to use the credit card. Pay your utility bill in South Carolina.
And obviously, you still have you still have three options: bank draft, cash, or check,
Yeah.
and you pay no fee.
Right.
Those of us that are already on bank drive, we don't have to do anything, it just rocks on.
Yeah, you don't have to do a thing.
Okay,
It'll
sounds
just
good.
move right on. Even the new system, your bank information will go over.
And that's why I'm more in favor of the third option, is because they're already paying $2.50 if they pay online, so that would keep them
Basically the same. Okay.
So what would that cost the city on an annual basis, do you think? To go with that option? Is that what we're paying now?
No, we
Yeah.
pay, right now, if you come into the office, we pay $141.
Yeah.
$1.41, that's the utility rate that was back in 2013.
Oh, okay.
And we could not charge face-to-face. They have changed it now where anybody can charge face-to-face.
Okay.
Government agencies can charge what they want to. I know Cleveland County, just because I pay my taxes over there, they want to charge 3% each time you use a credit or debit. So,
And Gaston County does the same.
yeah, I mean, it's universal,
Uh-huh,
but, it is gonna make our costs go up.
yeah.
Cause I think right now we average $600 a month just in face-to-face
Transactions.
transactions. We don't pay the $250 because that goes straight to the credit card processor.
Right.
So that is passed on from the credit card processor. I just negotiated that rate for the customers.
Okay. Good.
Do we need to vote on that in July?
We can vote on it in July, yeah. We
Okay.
just wanted to sort of give you food for thought.
Okay.
I thought you were just telling us for our information. I didn't know we were gonna vote.
No, we're not until July.
Yeah, since it's a fee, we have to have your vote on it, but,
Okay.
like I said, I think that's the best for the city and the customer, is the third option, because it basically keeps it the same. And then there's options to get around it.
Okay, do you have something else?
The 8:30 to 4:30. One other thing that we're looking at trying to do is, since we're going to this new system, right now, the ladies up front, you know, they have to come in, say 7:30, 7:45 to try to get their system up and going, get their drawers going, to be able to take payments at 8 o'clock. Then they have to stay, you know, to 5:30 because they take payments to 5 o'clock. So what we're wanting to try to do is, you know, only take payments from 8:30 to 4:30 with a card. You know, if you're paying with check or whatever, no problem. Come on in, drop your check in the deposit box, and you're fine. No, not a problem. But you know, if you're paying with cash or a credit card, we're going to ask that they do that between the hours of 8:30 and 4:30, so it gives the ladies up front time to get their drawer open, get going, and then close their drawer at 4:30 and get it balanced for the ending of the day.
Are you gonna notify the customers in any way about the change?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Be on the website and
Yes. Yes.
And have a grace
Like the
period
meal
for those
before.
that don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
I mean,
We're gonna have to, I mean, until.
Yeah.
people do
Yeah.
it, so-
Yeah, you're gonna have to have a little grace period.
and we know people are gonna come racing in at 4:50, and it's gonna happen from time to time, but we're gonna try to get people into the habit of 8:30 to 4:30 if you're paying with a card or cash up front.
okay.
Does anyone use the kiosk that's out there?
No.
It's kind of a moot point, isn't
was
it?
a waste
The
of money.
kiosk is a meeting point. It does, I think because it sits in the sun so much and it heats up, the computer,
Won't work.
it kept going black, so.
Can we change that when we
I'd
work on work at City Hall?
I'd love to put it on Gov Deals, to be honest with you. It's
The kiosk
pointless.
would be great if it was situated.
But the thing about it is nobody's gonna use it. They
Well,
don't wanna use it.
right, well, it was charging a fee,
Okay,
and we weren't charging a fee inside.
okay.
So a lot of people were like, if I'm coming through,
Mhm.
then I'm just gonna come in and still
All
paying
right,
the $250.
I think that was a COVID thought,
It was a COVID
and
thought.
it's not, it's just
And
not.
it was purchased with COVID grant funds.
When we do the remodeling, the kiosk will be gone.
No.
Well, we need to do something with it, probably.
Can we sell?
I would love to sell it.
Over on that side.
I would love to sell
Use
it.
it 24/7 though, right? I mean, couldn't you pay it anytime you want?
You could.
Well, and what I thought about is Gaston County tax.
Yeah, now we did talk about that. If we could set it up somehow where
Several people.
Where-
can pay them.
Cherryville residents, if they could, you know, go to the kiosk and somehow pay their Gaston County property taxes or something like that.
That'd be good.
That would be probably the most beneficial thing we could get out of it.
Maybe we could move it to the north side. And where it'd be in the shade 90% of the time.
I don't know.
They approved it
Sam
when we
warming
put
up
it
in the morning,
there.
then, yeah.
People that did the kiosk approved where it was going and said it would be fine. But
It's not fine.
Yeah. But you're gonna drive through the drive-through.
Yeah.
After we remodel, why couldn't you just have the kiosk right below it?
He's probably the main
And they could use that.
biggest one.
I
Okay.
mean,
I
that
think we ought
would,
to just get rid of it.
That'd be my opinion, unless you can do something with the county and have it to where they can pay property taxes on that.
All you're doing is making people mad. They go up there and try to use it and it don't work.
Right, yeah, and it doesn't work.
And it's very impersonal, like McDonald's now.
Bojangles.
Bojangles is not that bad.
They're.
If you
they're
go in
a,
McDonald's, they want you to use a kiosk.
They don't want you to order it.
Oh,
There are gonna be some changes going forward with, you know, going to Tyler, but I do think financially, it's gonna be a big savings to us from going from North Star to Tyler for our utility bills. North Star is a Canadian-based company, And I think Dixie can agree that when we would go to Electric City's meetings or anywhere like that, it got to where North Star wasn't even coming. So you really didn't have the support that you have with Tyler. You know, Tyler, we can pick up the phone, we can call them, they're based out of Texas. You know, we can get people here if we need to. And it's just gonna be better all the way around as far as our utility bills. You know, I'm sure there's gonna be some hiccups at the first, but we feel like it's gonna be a lot better.
Okay.
I did have a question. I noticed, I think it was Monday, when I left City Hall, that big generator was running.
It's running today.
They just testing it out, or?
I've noticed it running periodically, and I think it's because of peak times, it kicks on. So obviously a day like today, when it's 98 degrees, it's gonna kick on and try to save.
Okay.
Do we manage that? Does our electric?
We don't do
Electric
anything
Cities.
with it.
I
Electric
didn't think
Cities,
so.
the city didn't pay a penny to do it.
Yeah.
Electric Cities did it all.
I knew that, but I didn't know if our electric department had anything to do with it.
No, they don't. Only thing, I
They
have
gotta
talked
throw
to,
some switches.
I have talked to Stacy Bradley, who works for Electric Cities, and trying to do, you know, they say that if we have a power outage, that generator could potentially power our downtown circuit. But we gotta get some training from Electric Cities on teaching our guys how to, you know, turn the switches on and do what they have to do to make it work.
Well, we need to do that. I think that's very important.
I think it'd be great for the merchants to know that, like if we have a microburst, they can still operate if it's not directly on Main
Is
Street.
it operated remotely now?
I mean, it's gotta be automatic because they don't have an individual out there.
I know.
It just,
It could be on a timer.
yeah, it's just like our generator outside City Hall.
Yeah,
You know,
it's got
every
some-
Thursday, it's supposed to kick on automatically and test.
I think that keeps the batteries charged. Is that right, Rusty? That's the reason it kicks on once a week or whatever.
That big generator, it's a load shed generator. So it goes, it's part of Electric Cities, and those generators are sporadic through the state. And then they're running them this afternoon to help with the load, the AC load.
Correct.
But it can be, and you have an automatic switch or there's a manual switch where you can throw it and feed one circuit on Main Street. About a quarter of the town probably.
That'd be good.
Wow. That is good. Okay. Do I have any other business from council? Anybody got any questions to? Okay. Any more from staff?
Nothing further from staff.
If not, do I entertain a motion for
I'll
adjournment?
make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Have a motion and a second for adjournment. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. All opposed, the same, and there is none. We are adjourned.